Okay, guys, what's up? This is my Fallout 4 review. I'm just cranking out reviews here as much as possible because I've been, college and, well, Fallout 4 has been consuming my life. So surprisingly, at least from what I've seen, there hasn't been too much hype about Fallout 4 as opposed to, let me finish, as opposed to things like Battlefront, which I talked about in my other review. You should go watch that because that's a good one too. That's not to say that there hasn't been any hype. There's been a lot of hype, I know, but I suppose there's not as much. They also announced it same year, or they announced and released it same year, which I think is great. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys that I didn't get a chance to finish 3. I got through a pretty good amount of New Vegas, so I'm not the leading authority on Fallout, but I've also played a lot of Skyrim. If that counts. Yeah, it doesn't count, but. I'm going to get to that point that Fallout 4 feels a lot like Skyrim. I even got the controls mixed up a little bit sometimes. So that's good and bad for some people, I think. I think I saw someone compare it from... It's like Skyrim is to Oblivion of what Fallout 4 is to Fallout 3. I don't fucking know. But anyways, let's get on with this shit. Good spoilers. This is a fucking awesome game. Okay, so the next section is graphics and sound, which I think we previously decided could be called presentation, but fuck you, I do what I want. Everyone's gonna be happy about this now. Fallout 4 is running at 1080p, 30 frames per second on both the PS4 and Xbox One. Everyone's happy now. No one can complain. Just kidding. Everyone likes to complain about everything. Let's see. The PC maxed out 4K, 120 frames per second. I wish I had money, guys. I could buy some fancy PC and run all this stuff. But regardless, the game looks and sounds great, I think, personally. A lot of people like to complain that, oh, the textures aren't so great. You know, it's not as good as it could look. But you can't compare this game to something like Battlefront because it's just the game is so massive and detailed. Detailed in the sense that you can do a bunch of shit. And there's just so much shit to do and so much shit in it that you can't expect everything to look, the goddamn best all the time. And given all the things it can do, the game looks perfectly fine. Looks pretty great. For the sounds, you can hear me listening to a radio station right now. There's a lot of dialogue in it. Now, you think you can trade? And it's a trading and talking and talk. Whatever. Fuck you. All right. So there's a lot of talking, more dialogue from both you and the NPCs now, and the difference between this and previous Bethesda games even is that the text trees, the dialogue trees, sorry, as it were, your character talks every line of dialogue, or speaks every line of dialogue now, which I think is great because it feels like a little bit more like Mass Effect in that sense that a lot of lines were recorded and many different options you can take, sarcastic or nice responses and stuff. So that's good. Can I... There, you got some little clip of me talking, and there's a bunch of people on the roof. Who fucking knows why? Yeah, what I think is a good change of pace that there's just a little bit more dialogue from you now, and you can hear yourself. So, that's all good. Okay, next is story, and I'm going to spoil anything. Basically, you're a vault dweller, and you gotta leave the vault because shit happens. And then you gotta go fix the shit that happened by doing shit. See? Wasn't that... That's the entire story. That's the entire story of everything, actually. Shit goes down, you gotta fix the shit by doing shit. That's about it. And let's see. Like previous games, there are different factions you can join. But I'm not gonna tell you them because I feel like some people would be like, that's spoiling. So I'm just gonna let you figure it out on your own. I'm going to go ahead and say one of them is the Brotherhood of Steel. So, because I know that's been another shit. And whatever. And also, since this is the story section, I have to tell you that there are actually 4 different endings. Each based off the 4 different factions. But, again, I'm not going to spoil. Of course, I'm going to spoil what they are. But I guess I do find it weird that after doing a thing for one and doing it through that the effects of what happened don't seem apparent. So, I mean, that's probably the best way I can put that without spoiling anything, honestly. And I guess compared to New Vegas, that's another complaint some people have is that in New Vegas there was like hundreds of or whatever bunch of shit that could happen based off whatever ending happened in New Vegas. But you know, that's really not what you're. Whoops, this shouldn't be what you're, I guess, here for. Yeah, the story is very important, but the main story itself it does help explain a large part of Fallout. I'm gonna... Yeah, that's not spoiling, right? Fuck you. You clicked on a review of it. Anyways. Let's see. The real story here is the one you create for yourself. And in parentheses on my Microsoft Word, it says, yeah, it sounds lame. I know. Trust me, I know that sounds lame. But it's really what you do on your own. It's really how you spec out your points and what you decide to do throughout the story and how you go about doing things. That's the story. That's the real story you're trying to get here, not the main story. The main story is still pretty good, but the real story is the one you create for yourself. Oh, it's so... whatever. It's about getting immersed in this universe. It's about getting immersed in the whole world of Fallout. And just seeing... Also, surprisingly, because I didn't beat Fallout 3, but I know that at the end of Fallout 3, it was supposed to be like purified water, right? But you don't really see... That doesn't make as big as an effect as you think it might in the sequel to the Fallout game. But regardless, that's about all I'm going to say for story, so I don't spoil anything. Okay, next is the gameplay, and this is where the real meat of any game is. Let's see, I think I wrote down... It looks... I mean, okay. It's very similar to the previous Fallouts, of course, but it's also very similar to Skyrim, if that makes any sense at all. I feel like it does, maybe because I just played so many hours of Skyrim. I don't know, I feel like it may have just started to feel the same after a while, but Skyrim with guns. But gunplay is kind of that weird, slowish feeling where you kind of like... I don't know, it's the weird slow feeling, but it still works perfectly fine. It's not super precise, maybe is the word I want to use, but let's see. VATS comes back. Can I? God damn it! I'm a goddamn door. Oh man. So VATS, we all know VATS. This great, awesome, cool thing where we do things like this. So VATS comes back, and I fucking missed that thing, didn't I? That's a great addition. There's lots of perks still for it. It's VATS. It's Fallout. You know how that goes. There is first and third person, like this. Ow. What a bitch. And, of course, you know, you can play in third person, but it's, you know, first person's the way to go. Holy shit. There's also melee weapons. You can see the shish kebab, which I also believe was in Fallout 3. There's other additions. There's, like, a power fist thing, which I called the Fist of Justice. Yeah. Yeah, it could be more lame, but I'm not. So, I make videos on YouTube. I'm cool. Anyways, of course, there's also a bunch of crazy modifications that you can make on your guns, which I will show you here in a second. Let me jump cut. Okay, so modifications. You see here, you can rename all your guns and add a bunch of crazy stuff to it. You know, double barrel death. Goddamn, that's a good one. Heart of the cards. There's a bunch of... this is more embarrassing than I thought it would be. Anyways, you can see all these crazy modifications you can make on your guns. Crazy modifications you can make on melee weapons, but I don't really use melee weapons because I get fucked pretty easily. And I think arguably the most or the biggest addition they made here was the settlements. You can see this is Sanctuary. This is where you start the game. And it's a settlement, and settlements are these things with exactly what they sound like. They are areas you can create and build buildings, and people will live in them. You can see the needs at the top: people, food, water, power, defense, beds, and happiness. Everyone's so happy. I built a goddamn bar for them. Look at them. Look at these little assholes and their ungratefulness, whatever. I love this edition so much. This whole building is great. Some things are a little bit more convoluted, like the electricity. There's no real tutorial. Actually, I'll take that back. There is technically a tutorial on creating things, some basic things, but otherwise you got to figure out a lot on your own or through Google, which, yeah, you know, that's because the settlements are not. You could totally skip on the settlements and still be perfectly fine playing Fallout however you used to without settlements. You can see you can scrap and stuff here, scrap all that crap. And I really think I've spent hours and hours in settlement building, and I'm like, man, I'm doing such a good job that, you know, I've built a bar, right? And you go look on Google, and people have built these insane like cities, and I'm like, you know, I got a campfire inside a building, and I got pictures of motherfucking cats, so you know. But yeah, people, you can go pretty in depth with this the building in here. Settlements can also generate income, which is good because, you know, you gotta buy your ammos and all that. Let's see. Oh, right. And the other thing about gameplay, since this is still the gameplay section, you see my power armor there? Right. Pretty early in the game, it kind of hands you power armor, which that's not spoiling because it's literally like 2 or 3 missions in. You see all his power armor, like. This is the one they hand you. This is the one they hand you in the beginning. Like, I mean, it's, I don't know. That might have been the only complaint really I ever had, was that they just kind of hand you this ultra powerful suit of armor, but you can't run it for a while until you get some more parts that you need for it to run. But eventually, you will find all those parts to get and to be able to run your power armor. And you can see the power armor crafting station here. This is where I guess the point of the game was to like find armor and build it and craft it and modify it up until this badass motherfucker right here that I made, because I'm a badass motherfucker. So I guess that may have been the whole point of like handing you that power armor so early in the game, was so you can get a taste of what you're supposed to do later on. But I don't know, I felt like that was like a Anyways, quick gameplay notes. There's occasional frame rate drops I got on PS. This is playing. I'm running on PS4 right now. Occasional frame rate drops down to, man, I gotta say, it probably fell down to like 18 frames per second. That didn't last that long though. However, kind of a more major problem. The game has actually crashed 2 or 3 times on me already, and it's been like during some random things that. Why it doesn't make sense why it would crash, but that's only happened 2 or 3 times. And this game autosaves a lot, and remember, it's always important to quick save. It's important to save on your own, but the autosave does a pretty good job of that. But yeah, I kind of may have gotten screwed over once or twice from that, but otherwise there's been no other complaints about this, and the gameplay itself is all great. So okay, now we're getting into the part with the fun factor replayability. Basically, what's gonna make you, or what I think is the most important thing when considering buying a game, is this gonna be worth your money really? And the fun factor is derived from a couple things, which, whatever gameplay, whatever you want to call it, I've had such an incredible like amount of fun just building the settlements, and that's just one aspect of the game. That's not even modifying all my guns and renaming them stupid things or, whatever else you have. Exploring is definitely one of the major things that provide the most fun, whether that be from random encounters or meeting different random people, or you know, that's another quick thing about the map size. People were also complaining like, oh, the map's too small, you walk across it or whatever, but the map may not be the biggest map in the world, but it's extremely detailed. There's just so many things in it that there's just no way to, you know, cover all of it in this whatever video, however long I'm making it. So that's really not that big a deal, is that the map isn't the biggest thing in the world. You know, it's not compensating for anything. If you anyways, and the replayability from it definitely also comes from your ability to respec all the perks and leveling up to, I'm not sure if there's a level cap. There probably is. I don't know. I'm not looking it up right now because I don't feel like it. Respecting all your perks, all the perks in the perk tree, chart, whatever. Come on. See all this crazy things, all these crazy levels of different perks, and you know, it's great. And what people like to do is you can restart the game and respec all your perks in the beginning to get a different playthrough. You can see I'm not lucky at all, but you know, super charismatic. And seriously, I've already spent something like on Microsoft Word, I wrote down, no, it's something like 2 days or something. No. I looked it up. It's like fucking 4.5 days I've spent playing this game already. So if that's any indication that there's a lot of replayability and fucking fun to have out of this thing, you know, that's it right there, I think. Okay, final verdict here. Should you buy this game? Is it fun? Whatever we covered before. Yeah, this is a game that I'd say that if you didn't buy it or you never got a chance to play it, you actually might be missing something. Contrary to Battlefront. Gonna keep bringing that up because you can go watch that thing right now. Give me some more views over there. Anyways, yeah, this is a game that it's just so incredible as such would be overused. It's just such a great. Why not? It's such a good game that missing out on it would. I mean, you can miss out on it. You can miss out on any game, really. But it's just such a fun game, and there's so much to do in it that I could recommend this game to anyone, really. Like, I think anyone would enjoy this game. Like, with a couple other games that, you know, kind of have a specific type. I guess this is more... Oh, I actually have heard some complaints that it's a little less RPG feeling than before. So maybe some Fallout Die Hard fans might not be too thrilled about it, but regardless, I still recommend this game to anyone. It's so fucking awesome game. But you know, Bethesda has this thing with their Fallout games and with their Elder Scrolls games that they kind of have this formula that they kind of stick to. You can see that in here, the lock picking. A lot of mechanics are the same. And you know, Fallout 4 is no exception. That this is just another fantastic game. I got really, honestly, you got really few complaints other than the power armor in the beginning. You just hand it out to you, and maybe some frame rate drops and some of the crashes. But that was pretty minimal. That never really happened. That doesn't happen too frequently. So you know, go buy it. Go buy the shit. You know, right now. Whatever you're doing, stop what you're doing. Go buy it. I'll wait here. Actually, no, fuck you. I'm not waiting. Go buy it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.